The State Department has just released, and I'm talking about just a couple hours ago, emails found on the laptop shared by Huma Abedin and her estranged husband, Anthony Weiner. Now, yesterday on CNN, Don Lemon, who has a show there, was visibly annoyed that the Abedin-Clinton email scandal just won't end.
When you clearly have top secret information on a laptop that you have on a server in the basement of your house, and then you send those top secret classified documents to people that aren't even cleared to see them, and then you forward them to your husband, who, by the way, is in jail.
There have been a million hearings on it. It's water under the bridge, but why? No. We'll be right back. We'll be right back.
When in doubt, toss to a break. You'll learn that in Anchor School 101. Tom Fitton is the reason why Don Lemon lost his mind. He's the president of Judicial Watch, and he sued the State Department in order to obtain the emails. And he's the reason 2,800 emails are into the public right now. Tom, I know this is always a long process. Congratulations on getting it. How many have you read? What have you found?
Well, I've read about 140 of the emails. The State Department servers went down, and you know, it's a big team effort at Judicial Watch. It's extraordinary that we have to get our lawyers to sue in court, our investigators to look at the documents. After 2 years, we finally get the records. Now, the FBI found these records last year, as Ed Henry pointed out. We're only getting them 16 months later. And they show there was classified information on Weiner's laptop, in the least, at least 4 or 5 emails of that. There could be others there, but we're having to dig through the records to find that out. You know, and the concern is you're not supposed to take classified information off of classified systems, and you're certainly not supposed to take them out of the office, and you're certainly not supposed to store them on unsecure systems like your husband's laptop. And, of course, Weiner was involved in all sorts of things that make his laptop especially a risky place to store this type of information. And you have to wonder why it is the FBI and the Justice Department let Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin off the hook after, you can bet the FBI knew there was classified information late last year when Comey cleared Hillary Clinton yet again, why it is they let her off the hook. Now, remember that FBI special agent who was sending these pro-Hillary and anti-Trump texts last year? Well, he's the top counter-intel guy, or at least one of them at the FBI, and would have been involved in this decision-making as well. So it's all coming together. We now know that Comey, other top officials at the FBI, Loretta Lynch meeting with Bill Clinton, they obviously were protecting Hillary Clinton and targeting President Trump. And one of the ways they were protecting Hillary Clinton was refusing to enforce the laws against the mishandling classified information. They left this classified info on the Internet equivalent of a public park bench.
So if you want to know how somebody might be as president, you might say, what was the last job they had, and how did they handle it? How do they handle it? Using a private server. How do they handle it? Not being truthful about it. How do they handle it? Putting classified information on that, denying that it did, and then having it turn up. And then getting angry when it's discovered in October before an election that she sent her chief of staff sent classified material back to her house. This is a country secret. In at least 4 cases. You found 4 classified emails already. You're only through a couple of hundred. You got to get through almost 3,000. So it's her actions that prompted law enforcement to have to act. So you might love Comey, hate Comey. He did not want to have to do this. Her actions forced him to find this and then make a decision, correct?
Yes, I do. And I think, you know, Don Lemon is going to be really angry when I say the following. We need the Justice Department to criminally investigate what went on here, this time in an honest, forthright way, as opposed to the sham investigation that went on during the Obama administration that was protecting Hillary Clinton, their preferred candidate for the presidency. You know, Jeff Sessions, or I don't know if he's recused himself from this as well, but the Justice Department, if this has not caused the Justice Department to do a serious independent and criminal investigation, you know, then we're throwing all the laws against the mishandling of classified information. You might as well throw all those laws out.
Right.
Because you can do anything you want, and if you're powerful enough to get away with it, that can't be the standard. And President Trump, he's the president. He was elected to make sure this sort of stuff was stopped. And I would suggest he asked his Attorney General or someone in the Justice Department to at least investigate what went on here.
Right. And by the way, people say, why does President Trump keep talking about Hillary Clinton? There's an argument could be made there. But if you flip it around, Hillary Clinton never stops talking about this election and what happened leading up to it, blaming everybody except her own actions, including Comey, and wanting this investigation when clearly she has some problems that have to be looked into. Hey, you guys are relentless. Tom Fitton, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Joel Payne has a different view. He's a Democratic strategist and former director of African-American advertising for Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. So, are you curious at all about what's on what's in those emails?
This is just a nothing burger, Brian. I can't believe you guys have spent $30 million, you guys being Judicial Watch and all these other conservative activists that have been going after Hillary Clinton for years. $30 million chasing a ghost on Hillary Clinton, chasing something that doesn't exist. Now you've drug her former aide into this. You've drug her family. You've put out misleading information about her family, about cousins and whatnot.
Go ahead. Tell me what's misleading,
I really don't quite
Joel.
understand.
Joel, I could understand how you don't want to bring it up, and I respect that. But could you tell me what's misleading about her cousin going to jail, about erroneous emails, about a jury finding him guilty? What's misleading about the anti-American newspaper that she used to co-edit?
Let's go through and name what every one of your cousins, aunts and uncles and whatnot have done over the last couple of years. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous argument, and that's the type of equivalency that makes people disbelieve the information that comes from this network.
Joel, what's erroneous about it?
Well, what's erroneous is it having any link to Huma Abedin. It has no link to her whatsoever. It's her cousin. I've got cousins who do things that I don't agree with either. Does that mean that I'm responsible for their actions? The bottom line is here, you're trying to distract from this president what he's doing in terms of distracting from the Russian investigation. This is a very smart ruse, by the way, by conservative activists and Fox News Network to try to, treat this as top news story for the first 15 minutes of your show. It's not. You're trying to confuse the American people. You're trying to confuse your viewers.
Joel,
this is a non-story. It's been litigated.
I respect that you don't like our rundown, and I'm sure I won't like a rundown. If you put together, I might not like the order in which you do it. Believe it or not, we are covering some of the Russia investigation. If you would tune in, I will provide a copy for your home use a little bit later. Coming up in the C block. I'll show you. Okay? It's a C block. It's about 20 minutes after. But just focusing on this. The #1 story in America last year in late October, the #1 reason that Hillary Clinton gives that she lost was the fact that these emails were found on her chief of staff's husband, who's in jail for a reason, we'll go into that at a different time, was found on a laptop at home. So State Department things, at least 6 of which were classified material. This is a job interview, a year-long job interview. She's favored to win in almost every poll, in almost every battleground state. And then we see the way she acts in the slipshod way in which she's handling classified information. The #1 reason why she claims she lost. And now for the first time, those emails are exposed. So this would even help you, Joel, go through it and say, look, I went through 2,800 pages, there's nothing here. Or you go through it and say, wow, there is a lot here. So it is newsworthy in almost anyone's newsroom. I don't know what is not newsworthy about this. What Hillary Clinton claims is the single greatest reason why she lost.
Yes, it's not newsworthy for you to be chasing a private citizen who had another private citizen working for her for something that's been litigated by the FBI. By the way, your last guest doesn't think the FBI, I think he wants the FBI to be disassembled. I think that's what he said.
Tom
I think
Fitton?
He said that the FBI, Tom Fitton said that the FBI
He's disappointed like a lot of people. In some of the actions of the deputy director.
We think the FBI is a tool of the Democratic Party. Brian, is that your opinion on this? The FBI is infiltrated by Clinton Democrats? Give me a break.
Joel, I think for one thing, I think you point out, you give me a chance to separate. The rank and file of the FBI, I've had a chance to spend a great deal of time with. And there's about 35,000 in the country. To think that there's anything...
You met all 35,000
No, I said there's about
35. Brian.
Well, thank you. And if I did meet them, I would share their names with you. But most of those I've met, there's about 35,000 in the country. I'd say 99% are doing things on a regular basis that are extraordinary, not for fame, not for fortune, not for a pat on the back. I get it. Not for their pensions because they believe in this country. However, if you're trying to find out how an investigation is progressing, what is behind it, why certain people are being investigated and why others. You have to find out who's doing the investigating. And upon further review, we're finding some disturbing things that are being unmasked. So I think that is newsworthy.
Jim Comey and Bob Mueller, who were George W. Bush's FBI team, yes, they were coordinating with the Clinton campaign to defeat Donald Trump.
Oh,
that sounds like a really reasonable, believable
let me ask you,
argument.
Do you like what James Comey did with Hillary Clinton's emails?
Of course not. I disagree with it, but I didn't think he called for being fired.
So do you think it's not right?
I disagreed with him. I reacted like a normal person.
If I disagree with something Andy McCabe did, if I disagree with something Peter Strzok did, if I disagree with something that Bruce Orr working with Justice did, am I being critical of an entire bureau? Am I being critical of the entire Justice Department? Or am I saying, I don't like these actions? They seem to have a political motivation. And if I want to find out where an investigation's going, I have to find out who's doing it. To me, those are logical questions, Joel, that you would be asking too.
Well, all due respect, Brian, I'm more concerned with our commander-in-chief and how he feels about this. He spent the last week before Christmas, going into Christmas holiday, tearing apart the career of Andy McCabe, who, by the way, has spent the last 20 years fighting terrorists, doing things that your network purports to care about. So, yeah, that's what your president believes in. So I'm more worried about what he thinks and not what you think. 7.5
hours behind closed doors. So disturbing was it, the guy's rushing to retirement. That's newsworthy. Thanks, Joel, for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian.